What's blooming October 3rd, a little after 7 a.m. The sun's not quite yet up yet in the garden in Seattle, Washington. Figs are still green. The Peter's honey fig showing first yellowing of leaves in the last few days. Temperature is currently about 43 degrees, so as it gets a little darker and a little bit cooler, it'll start dropping. The Olympia still wants to put on fruit that will never get ripe on the main crop, and the loganberries continue to put out new growth all the way along the fence that I'll need to tie up to the fence here in that run. This is an evergreen clematis, which also means that as it dies off, it's always brown a little bit. And Dahlias are having their final run. I've cleaned up the rose bush, now laying over to the left. Daisies, done. Climbing New Dawn, I think is done. There's some new buds, but I don't think they'll have enough time to go for the rest of the season. We have Dahlias. The Gladiola's finished up about a week ago. See, the last bloom is on it and has started to put seed on. Nasturtiums still vigorously taking over on the second round here and getting new blooms in this week. The small dahlias, the asters, back up. The former star of the garden has now gone to seed the garlic chives, and the asters have taken over as the massive burst of color. There's two plants that then fell over and left the space in between, hiding where the ranunculus were, and that was one plant that also fell over and spread. Geraniums, starting to think about how to overwinter these, but they're blooming so nicely that I don't want to bring it in yet. Plan is for an insecticidal soap drench on the roots, plant it in new potting soil, and bring it in to the greenhouse over the winter in the basement. All right, the cucumbers gave up. The final ones got ripe, and then we got rid of the vines and took them out. Climbing Joseph's coat is finished for the season, and we're starting to get some color on the hips. There we have reference size and color. Pacific Dogwood is colored up beautifully this year. It got more water this summer, both because we watered the garden underneath it and we got a little later rain. So we have actual fall color in that, and we have fall color in the false Virginia creeper that is coming up in a raised bed by the gazebo. October 3rd, what's not blooming in the garden? The fern coming out of the corner of the flower box is not blooming. Of the remains of the cedar tree that we had removed and the top chipped and left in the driveway are now underneath the rhododendrons, the pieris, the camellia, and all the way along the path. So there's multiple days of hauling and digging, mostly by Amy, who did amazing work in laying this out. So the path is reestablished. The hellebores are not blooming yet. Oops, something is blooming. Also not blooming. There's the Rex begonia. Disposed. Daphne continues to bloom. The Thunbergia continues to bloom, as does the Hydrangea, which we'll probably leave these on for winter interest. Last month we were thinking about dried flowers. We're not going to clutter up the house with that. Also fall color on this maple. A little tip burn. Not sure if that was lack of water or too much heat. Probably lack of water, but slightly root bound. So I have to work on that. And I don't get much contrast here in the fall up against that wall. Just need to rethink the location and maybe relocate it during the fall color. Better in the spring. The summer hanging basket petered out, so we replaced it with the begonia that was overwintered, and we continue to see that we have begonia rot continuously throughout it. So this is not a healthy plant. It's just getting enough sun and enough light to get one final burst of bloom before we dispose of it. The begonias on the ground, however, have responded very well to monthly fertilization, monthly fertilizer and sun, and we're bolting a little bit in the lower light, trying to get some height on them. And the cone flowers, a few left that are already have nice seed heads for bird feed, and those will go into the winter. Some are self-cleaning and some need a little bit of help. The double in the back needed a lot of help. It didn't last as long, and I think it didn't set in quite as well as some of the new ones, so fingers crossed they survive. This is October 3rd in the garden. What's blooming in Seattle, 2024. Orion. Do you want to be on camera? You don't want to be on camera, do you? What do you see? What do you see? Do you see anything? It's empty. There are no rabbits. There are no dogs. There are no people.